Today I'm going to be sharing dinner recipes. These meals are great for just easy, quick weeknight meals, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing, I'm going to cook up a pound of ground beef. Once the ground beef is fully cooked, I'm going to go ahead and add a taco seasoning packet. You can definitely make your own if you want. I just thought I'd go the easy route. Next, I added about a half a jar of salsa. I'm adding corn. This is frozen corn, but you can use fresh corn, canned corn, whatever you have. And I'm also adding black beans. I'm adding rice next. This is actually uncooked rice. This is an area that you could change if you want. So the rice cooked all the way through, and then the rice that was kind of on the top wasn't as soft and was more like crispy. It added a nice texture variant, and I really liked it. Next, I added a can of diced green chilies and some Mexican blend shredded cheese, but any cheese will do. Next, I poured in some chicken broth. I gave it a final stir, got a casserole dish ready, and poured it in the casserole dish, and then topped it with some extra shredded cheese. Then I baked it in the oven at 375 for about an hour. When it came out, I added some green onion that I had chopped up, as well as some chopped up cilantro. We loved this. It was a lot of food. It did provide us a lot of leftovers. I really liked the rice with kind of the crispy rice on top, but you can definitely cook the rice ahead of time. But I would just recommend throwing it in the pan, throwing it all in the oven. It was super easy, really quick, and really good. I served it with a simple side salad, and you can add like toppings like sour cream if you'd like. I'd highly recommend this. The first thing I'm doing is cutting up the chicken. So this is chicken breast. I'm cutting them in maybe like 1 or 2 inch cubes, and then I'm going to marinate it in a Ziploc bag. You can use a bowl or whatever you prefer. I threw in a little bit of cornstarch, and I'm putting the chicken pieces in it. You definitely don't have to marinate it, or you can just marinate it for 30 minutes. I did it overnight. I just like the flavor. I feel like it makes it really juicy. I also added some tamari, sesame oil, and olive oil, just a little bit of each. I added more tamari than anything else. I'm just going to close the bag really tightly, shake it up so that the flavor and the liquid gets all around it, and I'll store it in the fridge. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started on my toppings. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up my green onion. I just like using kitchen scissors. I feel like it's the easiest way to do it. I just bought some pre-shredded carrots. I'm going to put that in here. And then the final topping I'm going to add is some cucumber. This is from my parents' garden. The seeds are pretty big. So I'm just going to kind of take out the seedy part in the middle and just cut off any of the seeds that are in here and just chop it up. Now I'm going to get started on the sauce. So this is a really easy but delicious sauce. So it's a mayo base, and I'm going to add some ketchup, some sriracha. You can add as much as you like. I want it pretty mild. Rice wine vinegar, some garlic powder, just a tiny bit of sugar just to kind of add a little bit of sweetness, and some sesame oil. And that's it. I'm going to give it a good stir. I tasted it for seasoning and it was perfect. I was looking for kind of a thinner consistency just so it's a nice sauce on top, nothing too thick. Here are all of the toppings that I just made and put together, so that sauce and the 3 toppings. So I'll save these for later when everything is ready. Now I'm making rice in the Instant Pot. I'm also adding water. I'm doing equal parts rice and water. And I'm going to add this onion salt from Trader Joe's. You can use regular salt or no salt if you'd like. Just want a little bit of extra flavor. I have it on 3 minutes on high. I've made rice in here a lot before. This is a new method, but 3 minutes on high, and I'm going to do a natural release. So I'm just going to make sure that it is sealed, and we'll see how it turns out. It's the moment of truth. Let's see if it worked. I think it worked pretty well. It was maybe on the slightly dry side, but it definitely was not soggy. Now it's time to cook the chicken. So I put the chicken that had been marinating in the pan, and I arranged it in an even single layer across the pan. I'm just cooking the chicken a couple minutes on each side. I don't want to overcook it, so I just flipped it halfway. Once it was mostly cooked, I wanted to add a little bit of a sauce just to add a little more flavor. I didn't want it like soupy or anything like that. So I added a little bit of peanut sauce. You could use hoisin, whatever you have, teriyaki, and then I added some tamari, which is very similar to soy sauce. Here it is. It's completely done. So you can see there's really no extra sauce. It just kind of stayed on the chicken and made it kind of almost a glaze. And here's the chicken. It's completely finished. It was really good. And now I'm just going to go ahead and assemble my bowl. I'm just adding the rice, the chicken, and then all of the toppings and the sauce. We loved this. It was really, really good, really easy. We'll be making this again for sure. It's so much flavor and just really nice textures as well. This is another kind of meal in a bowl, but it's really good. I used this falafel mix and I just did what the instructions said, so it was just the mix and water. Definitely make your own completely from scratch if you like, but this is definitely a good shortcut. Next, I'm doing a cucumber and a tomato salad. So I'm starting with the cucumber. I am peeling it and just chopping it and then quartering kind of the circles that I've cut. And I also added tomato and onion. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning. So I'm going to do salt, a little bit of pepper, red wine vinegar. You can use whatever kind of vinegar you'd like, and some olive oil. I also added just a tiny bit of honey for a touch of sweetness, along with some basil just for added flavor. And I just mixed it all together. I have to say, this salad is so simple, but it was so good. I did make more rice for this recipe. Rather than show you the process again, I just thought I'd show you the ingredients. So I used rice, coconut water, lemon juice, onion salt, and basil. This is not the most appetizing looking thing, but it's going to taste really good. So the mixture has thickened up, and I'm going to go ahead and roll the mixture into balls. And I'm placing them on a tinfoil lined pizza pan. I was worried they would stick, so I just wanted to go this route. I used a 2 tablespoon measuring spoon, but you can really make whatever size you'd like. I originally wasn't going to put this recipe in a video just because it's not completely homemade. I used like a box mix for the falafels, but we loved it, and I think you could find a falafel mix kind of at any local store, and of course you can make your own, so I wanted to include it. I then put the falafels in the fridge until I was ready to bake them. And when the rice was ready, I put lemon juice in it. I did add the coconut water initially as kind of the liquid source, and I added the lemon juice once it was cooked. Here's the rice. It was really good, flavorful, and nice and fluffy. And the falafels are completely cooked. I just cooked them per the baking instructions, and here they are. They're really a really nice texture and tasty. And then here are all of the components. So it's rice, falafels, that's salad, and I just bought some tzatziki from the store. You can definitely do this semi-homemade method or make everything yourself, but either way, this was so good. This recipe is really quick and easy. The first thing I'm going to do is chop up an onion. I added ground beef to a pan. I went ahead and broke it up into smaller pieces and added that onion in. I only used half of the onion, and I just mixed it together and cooked it until the meat was done. I think I wasn't actually filming, but I added black beans. There's ketchup, garlic powder, pepper, brown sugar, and sherry vinegar. And I also added dill, which is a super good flavor in sloppy joes if you haven't tried it before. You can also add sriracha if you want a little bit of heat. Just gonna let it kind of cook and thicken up a little bit. And I'll taste it also to see if it needs more seasoning. I did add more ketchup. This was really good. I served it on a bun. A really easy weeknight meal. I hope you enjoyed this video. We really enjoyed all of these meals. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you next time.